right. Welcome back to Reality Lives with the Ives. I'm Katie.
And I'm Will.
Coming back at you with the next 3 episodes of Love is Blind Season 5. What are your thoughts on those? Real quick.
The journey continues. They were good. They were solid. Great moments. Overall, a little slow compared to the first 5 or first 4, whatever it was. I think first 4. But good stuff still. We pulled back the curtain in some ways that we weren't able to before. So, all in all, good stuff.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, hard to beat the initial first 4 episodes. Came out of the gate really hot, really juicy, but still some good stuff in there. So, what we're going to talk about today, obviously, the Uche and Aaliyah call. We know that we left off the end of episode 4 with Aaliyah being gone and really no answers. So we'll get some answers there, possibly.
Maybe.
The last reveal, Lydia and Milton. Interesting. Honeymoons in Mexico. What's going to happen there? Is everyone going to make it through? We'll find out. Finally, spoiler alert. Not going to give as many as last time. If you're here, you've watched them. If not, it's too damn bad.
We appreciate
you. Go back
you.
and watch them. Yeah.
If you haven't watched and you're listening,
dedication.
Thank you.
Yes. But we are going to see, spoiler alert, Uche and Aaliyah finally meet in person and keep chatting. Going to see the couples return home to their shared apartments and also show each other their actual apartments and kind of some of their hometown life. We are going to meet some families, perhaps. And then at the end, we're wrapping up with a little party time with who we like to call the Forgottens, the Forgettables. Yeah, we forget what we called them. Either way, not great for them, but always exciting to see all of the people who did not go to Mexico get together, see the tea. Everyone finally sees everybody. Yes, and I think we'll wrap it up with some predictions because we all know the weddings are coming. And it's gonna be good. So jumping right in to the Uche and Aaliyah call.
Man, Uche, he that is a strong personality. I don't know if it's conviction is the right word, but he creates his morals or his high ground or whatever, and he sticks by it, and he does not waver for anyone or anything.
Yes.
That dude's intense.
Definitely. It's interesting because he's probably one of the more hard to figure out cast members this season. I either really like him or I think he's horrible. Ultimately, I think he's a good guy with a big heart, but he is a little on a high horse sometimes, a little judgmental.
He's just very in control of his emotions.
Almost too much instead of letting himself just feel and be in the moment.
And he's smart, and the way that he talks about other people's emotions while being so in control of his own, it makes it, I don't know, it's sometimes, like you said, kind of great, almost like therapist-y, and other times it's kind of like off-putting because it just seems disgenuine almost. But yeah, that was an intense phone call.
So breaking it down, how the call began, Uche is talking to producers in an interview and said that he cannot accept this without speaking to Aaliyah himself. They were in love. He was getting ready to propose. This is preposterous. So the producers ask if Uche, would like to get her on the phone, if she's willing to talk to him. Producers call her. She is willing to talk to him. Score for us. And they chat kind of briefly, but right out the gate, Aaliyah is pretty remorseful and says she still loves him and she has some regrets.
Yeah, one thing that I wish they would show, there's some conversation that she alludes to between her and Lydia that seemed to have driven her over the edge after she got back from the pod, and that conversation where she says, I love you, Uche. I still want to be together. I see my life with you. You know, all that kind of good stuff. And so they don't show us that. Maybe they will later. Maybe they're saving some juice for like later down the road. Maybe like the after the season when they get back together.
After the altar.
Yeah. Or whatever the last episode is where they show unseen footage.
The reunion?
The reunion. There we go. Maybe they're saving it for the reunion. But yeah, Aaliyah, once again, was vulnerable. She was honest. She was open.
Yeah.
Hey, she was trying to own it. She was trying to talk here. And Uche, being Uche, once again tells her why she did what she did. And instead of letting her say, this is why I did it, whatever have you, he goes, no, like you did it for this reason. This is how it affected me. And a lot of what he said was totally fair. And I feel...
He's justified to have his feelings.
Oh, yeah. I
But
feel for him. It was absurd. He thought he was going to
assumes too
propose to her because she said she was down, and then
Yeah.
she didn't show up. So I'd be furious.
So she said she was down. Just further proving me right.
Yeah.
If you know, you know from the last step. So yes.
Katie's always right. Whatever.
Facts. You heard it here first. So she, again, says she has some regrets, but that the environment being around Lydia was super stressful. She mentions that Lydia did tell her that they hung out like 3 months prior. And then she says something interesting, which I kind of thought already, and I think brought up to you. She said, it almost feels like when you guys were hanging out a few months ago, she snooped around and saw that you were coming on the show, and that's why she came on. Uche did not like that, but he also told her, which kind of furthers this narrative maybe and gives us a little more proof that maybe this is something true. He says that in the past, he wasn't totally honest, that Lydia had like kind of stalked a bunch of his friends on Instagram and was just like watching their stories all the time. And that people were messaging him being like, do you know this chick? She's like all over my page. And I don't know her, obviously. And then he goes as far to say that Lydia once drove to his house, took a picture of his driveway, girl, sent it to him saying, I can see you.
Yeah, that's a big turn on, right? Yeah.
It's so hard because we don't want to call people a liar, and I don't think he would make this up, but girl, if you actually did all this, what the fuck are you doing going on this show thinking you're not going to get exposed? It's just so much mess. And again, we love to see it, but this obviously further probably stresses out Aaliyah because she's like, well, do I even want to come back into this environment now? Because the bitch is fucking crazy. You know?
I don't know if
I don't know if that made her feel better.
I was going to say, I don't know if it helped his case at all.
Well,
because...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean,
Yeah.
she was already in a rough place. And then he's like, you know what? Let's just, let's throw a few more straws on the camel's back, okay?
But when I might have gone out in order with this, so apologies. But when she kind of gives that thought, like, well, maybe she snooped around and knew you were coming on the show, he did not like that. He kind of lost his fucking mind on her and essentially got into a big spiel about his parents and how they've been together for 30, 40 years. He has watched them go through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, but they never gave up on each other. They never walked out on each other. And no matter what happened with Lydia, this was about the two of them. And Aaliyah let Lydia get in her head and she walked away. And he said, I cannot marry somebody who's walking away during a hard time, which it's fair. If you were getting down on one knee, ready to propose and got ghosted, it's going to be hard to trust somebody for the rest of your life, even when the circumstances are the Lydia of it all. I mean, it's tough. You see both sides. The Libra in me, I'm seeing both sides, and both sides have some justification there.
I lean towards Uche, to be honest. I know a lot of people are kind of villainizing him. But
I
at the same
Aaliyah's
point,
more likable, so you want to root for her.
Yeah, obviously.
He's just harsh, you know, but he's not wrong.
He's like, he borders on kind of scary at times. I don't think
Almost
he really
kind of
is.
controlling.
But
yeah.
he's a big dude, right? Like, I haven't seen him in person physically, but he looks like a pretty large man.
A big guy.
I mean,
yeah,
and he's very strong and very direct and very unafraid of confrontation, which
he does not
arguably,
waver in any of his opinions, his truths.
And I think that's the scariest thing, is he can be super calm and super direct in the midst of a pretty intense confrontation, which is not very human, almost. Like,
It takes a lot for him to soften and look outside of his firm stances
Yeah.
to realize like, oh, there's emotions involved. Like when they originally had their big falling out about the cheating, he went back into the men's lounge, and only after they all got through to him did he soften and see her other side and get more emotional. So I think he has it in him.
no, he does.
Clearly he's gone through things, who knows, in his life where he puts up these walls
That's all I
and
was gonna say.
he is just not going to be shaken.
Yeah, I don't think it's that he's, messed up in the head or things like
not a
that,
bad
right?
dude.
No,
Yeah.
we're all human. We're all flawed.
Yes.
And our experiences and our trauma, it's what makes us a lot of times. So,
So like we said, he's very unshaken in his beliefs.
yep.
Rightfully so. We love a strong king, but I think he could use some outside perspective to help him soften and get it more in touch with his emotions, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's,
People make mistakes, bro, and that's okay, you know?
yeah.
And he's not innocent, as we're going to see later.
Ooh, and I get it.
Oof.
I can be life coachy, right? And he tries to be very life coachy. He's almost like trying to like help
Not
her
in a nice
grow.
way like you.
Well, no, I agree. I'm not saying he is a nice way, but that's what a lot of it is. He's not afraid to challenge her and like push her and like
Yeah.
expect more of her, which is, a good thing, but can certainly be a bad thing. But needless to say, pretty intense conversation. Didn't end on a good note.
No.
Pretty much ended with, well, they're clearly not going on the honeymoon. They're clearly
Uche is like, I'm done. I'm done
Oh,
with
yeah.
you. And I
thought we
never
might
want
not
to
see
see
him.
you or talk to you again.
Yeah. Thought we might not see him again for the rest of the episodes.
Yes. They hang up. She's obviously upset. And he's the one who's like, I'm done with this. I don't want to see you. I don't want to speak to you again. It's done. It's not going to work. And I think she begrudgingly kind of agrees. That's the end of that. Now, we're on to our last reveal.
Oh, man.
Lydia and Milton. Wasn't sure what to expect, but I had a feeling it was going to go fine. I thought she was going to literally sprint out of the gates, jump on him like a spider monkey, and never let him go. But she was actually more calm. But she says one thing that, I'm sorry, Lydia. I don't want to come for you this whole episode, but fake, yeah, fake. She goes, in an interview to us, I really have no idea what to expect. I don't have any preconceived notions about what he looks like. I don't know if he's short, tall, his race, his ethnicity. Girl,
Lies.
he told you he was so fucking tall that he thought he was going to die young. He said he had scoliosis. He literally made himself out to be a man on stilts. And she's like, I don't know if he's tall. Fake. Now, the editing could be doing her dirty, but I think she's in her reveal outfit, literally saying that in the same outfit. So it's like, girl, cut the crap. You know the man's a giant.
Yeah. They would have really had to stretch that for it to be fake. Now, granted, they do a lot of chopping and editing, right?
Soundbite, I don't know. But, and sorry, Aaliyah, if that was the case, but he's tall. We all know he's tall.
Lydia. Sorry, Lydia.
Oh.
God, Katie, you're off your game.
I'm
But so-
impassioned.
The reveal happens, and of course, Katie's favorite man, aka the tallest man, comes out, and yes,
Will
he
is
is super tall.
putting me in a box. I hate bald men. I'm only into Milton. I've said 1,000 times, Izzy's my favorite guy of the season.
No.
Do you want to bet? Because it's in the last episode. And you know how this goes.
I'm pretty confident
I am 1,000,000%
Confident.
positive.
that
I said Izzy's my
you
favorite
thought
guy.
Milton was the hottest, for sure.
Initially, our initial impressions, I said he was my favorite because he's fucking tall.
See, wow. That literally just supports what I say. Ooh, got him.
Our first
Katie
impression.
bias.
And then
Bald
I
men,
go on.
down. Tall men, up. If you're tall and bald, I don't know. Maybe even out. Who knows? Hopefully, I never find out.
I was just going to
We'll
say,
see.
you better pray to the heavens that you keep that hair because apparently I'm going to fucking hate you later.
Well, I can't grow a beard, so hopefully I don't lose my hair.
Moving
Otherwise,
on.
good guy.
Roll the tapes. I said Izzy was my favorite. I will prove it to him, as I always do, once we're done with this episode. Also, Izzy, I really like him. He might be one of my favorite guys of the season.
Too long, didn't read. Katie doesn't like bald guys.
But yes, initial meeting, not too much to get into. Chemistry is chemistry.
On point. I mean,
Yeah.
they were macking.
They
Like,
made out
more
the
than anybody,
most.
probably ever.
Yeah.
They made out
They barely talked.
almost the entire time. It was pretty much like hug, kiss, make out. Sit down, make out, make out. Look at Milton's giant hands. Talk about Lady being short, make out.
He made some
make out.
comment how he's going to have to make her flashcards because it's hard to understand her. And she's like, I speak English. I don't need flashcards. And of course, he's like, whatever. But yeah, not much going on.
His insecurity because he shaved prior to this, so his mustache was a little thin, and he was feeling extra boyish.
Yeah, he
and,
comes out of the gate like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I look 12. And she literally is like, you look so young. You look like a baby.
Yeah,
You look 12.
she
Like,
doesn't
girl,
help at all.
have some self-awareness. Like, Jesus. Calling this man a baby every 5 minutes? No. He's already insecure that he's younger than you.
It was a preface for how she's going to continue to double down
Yes.
on that. But it's good reveal.
But it was a good
Better
reveal.
than I thought. Honestly, it seemed genuine.
Yeah, seemed genuine. He re-proposed, gave her a ring, looked super pretty. She was happy about that. Yada, yada. Very promising start. Better than we could have imagined it went. You know,
Way
if I didn't
better
know
than JP Taylor.
all of the things we know about Miss Lydia, we would think, wow, these kids really have a shot.
Oh yeah. So initially, we're thinking this is gonna be great, right? And then we go, cool. Time for the honeymoons.
They're off to Mexico, y'all.
And only 3? I think this is the smallest ever.
Sure is. I think there's at least 4, if not 5 couples every season.
I'm pretty sure most honeymoons have been at least 2 episodes because there's so much happening.
Yeah.
There's so much like drama between the groups. There's so much of this, that. But poor producers, they really had nothing to pull from the honeymoons because it was maybe 1 episode. And
Well,
it was probably not even the full episode.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to it. It was smooth sailing for 2 out of 3 of the couples the entire honeymoon. I mean, the chemistry was there. You can tell they're having no trouble in the physical attraction department. Sparks are flying for Izzy and Stacy and Lydia and Milton. JP and Taylor, who out the gate, I think a lot of viewers thought they're going to be the couple that is really easygoing, solid the whole time. Everyone thought that. And
I agree.
thought that.
I'm saying I agree.
You're pointing at me like you thought that.
No,
we all
I'm
did.
saying I'm with her. We all thought that.
You're like, yeah, this idiot. I'm like, everyone thought that. Moving on.
Sidebar.
yeah.
This is relationships in essence. Communication's hard.
I mean, this man's going, what am I supposed to think? Gaslighter. Anyways, same thing is happening that happened at the reveal. JP is nervous. He's visibly kind of shaken and shy. And Taylor, being the queen that she is internalizing this, thinking something must have changed for him at the reveal because this man can't speak more than 2 syllables. She is carrying every conversation, pulling teeth to get one-word answers out of this man. And I don't think it was because he's like in misery, but it was painful.
There's always the 4, things you can be, right? Introvert, extrovert, mixtures of both, whatever. He seems like a true introverted introvert. I mean, the dude
I'm torn on that.
struggles.
Well, if you see his Instagram, the man's a party animal.
Well, maybe he has to get really drunk to be social.
Well,
that's part of it.
I will say, when they had their little beach moment where all 3 couples hung out, was the most he talked the entire time because he was liquored up. Which
and he still barely
relatable.
did.
I mean, you're on a TV show under crazy circumstances, getting married to a stranger, so it's intimidating. Everyone's going to struggle with being super open in the beginning.
And I don't want to call his parents out, but I'm going to for a second. Why don't you maybe spend some more time helping him understand, communicating
that there are more
his emotions?
colors out there than red, white, and blue. Get this man a green shirt for the love of God.
Yeah. Taylor put up with a lot.
I mean, I wouldn't marry that man for that alone. The America of it all, sus.
There was so many scenes. Now, granted, it's just how they cut it, right? Where it's pretty much just him, arms folded, staring at her with his half-cocked smile, just sort of almost like a Chucky doll.
And
you're
she's
sitting
like,
there
are you
being
happy? He's like, yeah.
So uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I mean, dude, why can't you just talk about what you're thinking? Do you
And
not understand?
she's so
This is the
sweet
first
and
time you've
open.
ever been with this person in physical space, and all they want is to get to know you, have
Yep.
fun, all this stuff. And he's just sitting there, buttoned up, not saying anything, and eventually he
Wasting his own
explained some of
opportunity
why,
here.
but it was terrible. I mean, not just his behaviors or his lack of behaviors, but his explanation for all of it, even worse. I mean,
Well,
the dude started falling into a hole, and then while he's down there, you know what? Where's China? Let's dig deeper. Let's just keep going. You know what? What's going to happen? Eventually I can dig myself back out, right? Maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't
no
know.
going back,
Good
homie.
God, JP. Good God. What were you doing, man? Or what were you not doing? AKA everything? Poor
Yes.
Taylor.
So let's get to it a little bit. So, like we said, the other couples are pretty smooth sailing. When they get to the beach party, I think is when it's really settling in for Taylor. Unfortunately, this probably isn't going to work. She's
Yep.
seeing these other couples have easy times. I mean, they're laughing, they're kissing, they're like frolicking in the water. They're all just mixing and mingling and having a really fun time. And she's like, first of all, having FOMO. She's in Mexico and she's fucking bored out of her mind. And she's just sitting there, like, realizing, wow, we are not there. I don't think we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And they talk more about it off to the side in the water. And I think he complimented her kind of out of nowhere, maybe trying to be nice and give her something. But it was a telling compliment. He said, I really like your freckles. That comment was the first comment where you start seeing, oh, this is all making sense now. We're going to... They're back in their hotel room after that day. She's visibly upset, visibly fed up. Essentially, she's like begging this man for any reassurance. If we can't forget, if we did not forget, if we recall, I can't speak.
I was
cut
like, I don't know
that
what
up.
she's saying.
If we recall in the first episode, Taylor's main thing was, I'm ready for love because I finally am at a place in my life where I'm confident and I love myself.
Yeah.
Well, you fucked it, JP. Now she's here. Her self-worth is all over the place because she's sitting here not feeling good enough for this red, white, and blue fucking clown. She is sitting there like, what am I doing that I'm not enough for this guy? He doesn't want me. He doesn't like me. And all she wants is some reassurance. And he like can't give her fucking anything.
No, he can't. And
And it's so upsetting.
before we talk about the really stupid shit that he said, before we get out of the honeymoon phase, quick notes on the other two couples. Thoughts from me. One, Lydia, stop hammering Milton about his age because it just forces him to then make fun of you for being old. And half the conversations
Yeah.
we hear are them just playfully bashing each other's age, which is cute and it's funny, but it gets tiresome. So Lydia, like, you know he's probably insecure about it, and you're not building up his confidence, and then he's just going to call you old, which is going to get you annoyed. So
Exactly. I would
Poor form.
love to see how she reacted to be called old all the time. It's such a hypocritical thing.
yeah,
And
then
that dude is more mature than you. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it.
dude, Milton got his shit together.
He comes off
Dude.
young and fun with his comments about playing Wii with his friends. He's a good dude, and if he wants to play Wii,
I love him.
we love to see it.
The dude's young, super successful,
Yeah.
and likes Pokemon.
Great head on his
and isn't
shoulder.
afraid to talk about it.
Yeah.
Good for that man. Love
Yes.
him. And then Izzy and Stacy
Weird. Someone's really coming around on Milton. Yes. But carry on.
as a personality.
Carry on.
Anywho, and then Stacy and Izzy, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good loving. I will say, not necessarily a red flag for Stacy, but maybe an orange or yellow flag. Clearly, she's never been truly in love before, which she actually says
She
earlier
did
on the
say that.
show,
Yep.
because she makes comments to Izzy within like the second or third day about how she kind of expected him or wants him to be almost like more aggressive sexually and like throw her around, or she says just
They're like in the
grab
shower
her,
having
bend her
sex
over,
on
right?
camera.
Yeah, and they're
Like
down,
a girl.
and she's not going to get into it, but she gives him some compliments pretty early on, where you're like, all right, clearly they had a good time, things went well.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Chemistry.
is he saying like, I love you, I'm expressing my love for you physically, I'm not just kind of like, you know,
Using you.
you physically.
Yeah.
And so I think she's kind of used to historically men not like actually loving her and having, you know, passion in those moments.
Making
So,
love.
yeah, it was no, granted, not a red flag, right? Everyone has room for growth.
It was an
Not her fault,
interesting
but
thing to know.
It was something that if I heard, I'd be like,
And they barely know each other. Like, girl, we have our whole life to do other things.
yeah.
For sure.
So interesting moment, but otherwise, like you said, both couples really great.
One
And then we
other
get
thing
back
I
to-
want to touch on, you
Yeah.
reminded me, Lydia, little annoyingly controlling, forcing Milton to wear a fucking bathing suit he clearly doesn't want to wear, clearly doesn't want to match. She's like shoving him in the closet, not letting him change. Obviously, good for you, Milton. Wore the bathing suit he wanted. And there were some comments here and there, some physical comments that rubbed us the wrong way.
Yeah, not gonna get into it, but she said a few
Something about
facial feature comments
his nose
about him
being big.
and his lips
Yes,
being
and
big.
things that are very distasteful, in our opinion, and
Yeah,
just did not need to be said.
unsettling.
She's very unfiltered. I consider myself a pretty unfiltered queen, but I also have some class and some standards, and I'm a kind, nice person. Not saying she is not. I don't think a genuine, kind person speaks to their new future husband who they love in the ways that she did, because
Yeah.
these are ticking away at him, and you're going to chip away this man's confidence, which is something you liked about him in the beginning. So that's red flag city.
I'm probably biased because I'm a guy, but is it just me? Or we're outside of JP, who has the most problems? There are two guys, pretty great. Not a lot of red flags.
Uche's
They're
not
partners,
great, in
more
my
so.
opinion.
Talking about Izzy and Milton.
Izzy and Milton, for the most part, I'm into. Yeah,
Yeah,
good guys.
pretty much gems.
Regardless of little things that at the end of the day don't fucking matter about someone's character, like materialistic things perhaps that we will get to, they at the core are good people, really good guys, would be great husbands, I think.
Now
So,
let's
yes.
get to the bottom of this. Let's get
So,
to what really happens.
Back to, well, let's wrap up the honeymoon.
This is where the bomb
with-
comes.
Back to JP and Taylor.
Oh my
They're
god.
back in the hotel room.
Oh my god.
She's crying, begging. What the fuck has changed? You know, in the pods, you were so different. I felt so loved and wanted. I could have talked to you in the pods forever, but now we're here. Something must have happened at the reveal.
Wild.
And I think I have verbatim what he said.
Wild. Ridiculous. Very
Yes.
upsetting.
So JP reveals that he thought she was fake at the reveal because she was wearing so much makeup and fake lashes. He goes as far to say, your face was caked up with makeup.
And it got on my suit.
First of all, I assume that suit had an American flag on it somewhere. So no one fucking cares. Go return it to Spencer's. It's the audacity for me. Every woman,
Nuts.
even men, any normal human watching
Nuts.
that wanted to reach through the screen and beat the shit out of this man. This man,
Now,
throw him away. Anchorman him, kick him off
notion,
the bridge.
right.
Trash.
now the notion,
Mm.
like he tries to claim, is good, right? Like I get
The
Well, just
message.
give me a second.
Yeah.
Well, let me say it from my point of view,
I'm
right?
impassioned.
I like when Kitty wears less makeup because I think she's gorgeous naturally.
Okay.
And there's been times when we've gone to events, especially weddings, where other people do her makeup and they put a lot on. And honestly, I
Not
think it
even
makes
like
her look worse, you know? But
Oh, God.
the first time I meet someone, I'm not going to say, wow, you try to put on a lot of makeup to look good for me. How dare you? You piece of trash. I cannot believe you are so fake that on live TV, not live, but Netflix, for
Where
millions,
millions
of
of
people to see,
people are watching.
when you're going to reveal yourself to me for the first time ever, you didn't show up without wearing makeup. How dare you? The audacity of you not to show up
This man,
in sweats. Because, dude, you're wearing a fucking suit. You showered, you did your hair. I doubt you have a skincare routine because you're probably dumb and you don't have a
Absolutely
woman
not.
like Katie
soaks
to
his face
teach
in
you how to do
beer.
it.
Budweiser.
It's like, dude, you put on your Sunday best for this girl. And I say Sunday best because he seems like the kind of guy who would say Sunday best. and you're complaining that she wanted to show up for you. And then literally the rest of the trip, she's not wearing makeup at all. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. If that's what you like, cool. But he couldn't get over it. And she, thank God, she has the courage to call him out, be like, bullshit. You cannot say that one thing threw everything off and you haven't really got it over it since. Absurd. I love that she called him out.
Well, she literally said, she's like, no offense, you didn't even know what the fuck I looked like, let alone what I was wearing if I had makeup on or not. She's like, I had makeup on the entire time in the pods, as did every other woman, most likely, because they're on national television.
Nuts.
They're on fucking Netflix. Celebrities watch the show. Politicians are watching the show. Millions of viewers watch this motherfucking show. I don't wear a lot of makeup because I'm lazy and don't do it well.
And gorgeous.
I would be wearing makeup, appreciate it, the entire time. Everyone does. Women are sitting on a couch having conversations in like really nice dresses and heels for no fucking reason because the man can't see them. Guess what, JP? We don't wear makeup for you. Not for you, not for you, not for him, and not for her. We wear it for our mother effing selves. Gotta stop swearing so much on here, but I get heated. We wear it for ourselves to feel good and make us happy. She loves herself. She clearly is a glitz and glam girly. She's so cute. Her makeup also was not caked on, you uncultured swine. Everyone wears fucking fake lashes. Off with his head. Unacceptable behavior. Tell me you can't read a room. This woman has worked on her self-confidence, is to a place where she loves herself and is ready for love, wants to be loved unconditionally, and you tear her ass down.
Yeah.
And she has been nothing but vulnerable and begging you to do the same. No.
And that's a job of a good partner is to know your person and understand how you can help champion them and help them grow and feel good about themselves. And he clearly missed the memo, which the conversation comes to a head with her saying, you know what?
Well, he also...
I don't feel...
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
I was like, she ended up saying, I don't feel comfortable sleeping here. She tries to be nice. She says, hey, let's take the night. He starts to realize, oh man, I think I screwed up. But by that point, she's like, all right, let's talk in the morning. They have a nice little hug goodbye. You think everything may or may not be okay. Who knows? And then you fast forward to the next morning.
Well, you're missing a big line, he said. He said one other triggering line that I have to say. He said, you know, she's defending herself, saying you didn't know what I looked like anyways, spiel. And he said, I'm going to have to deal with this. You putting on a fake face. Jail. Like, I just had to throw that in there because, wow, my blood was boiling. Like you said, understandably, she's like, we're getting nowhere here. We're both upset. Let's take the night apart. I will go to a different room, which he, first of all, should have volunteered to go to a different room because all her shit's in this room. Be a gentleman. Whatever, I digress. She leaves. They have some time apart. You can tell he's kind of like, oh, fuck, you know, because for some stupid ass reason, he thought that wasn't going to go badly. And they meet back up in the lobby of the hotel the last morning.
And I just gotta say, Taylor.
Slow clap for Taylor.
Queen.
Claps for Taylor.
Put a little crown on. She took the time. She really thought about it.
Yes.
Probably got her phone back. Gave her mom a call. We don't know that. But
I don't know. I don't think so, unfortunately.
No, but
we never know.
She either is super, super good at self-reflection, or she had a conversation with somebody to help her get these realizations. But
producers even, maybe.
She shows up, and she knows exactly what she wants, what she's going to say. And it wasn't even a long conversation. No back and forth. Within pretty much 2 minutes, she's like, yeah, it's over. She's
like, I'm not comfortable. It's not going to change.
We're not there.
Comfortable.
We're not going to get there. You're not doing this for me. You're not making it, whatever have you. Doesn't wait for response. He obviously has no response because he never says anything. He just gives her this look that's got to be so frustrating over and over again. And then she goes, all right. Gives him back the ring.
Takes off the ring.
Gives him a hug.
Slams it on the table.
Boom. Done.
Queen,
right.
Who knows her self-worth. Normalize walking away at the first sign of chaos.
She's a sweet, attractive.
She doesn't need this
seems
shit.
like a good person. Yeah. She deserves to feel like a goddess and a champion.
The
and
experiment
he's not doing that for her.
Was robbed. I would have loved to see her and Milton together. That's all I'm going to say. It would have been interesting.
I think Milton clearly likes
a fiery.
Yeah.
I think she can get more fiery than Racine.
You can't force a square peg in a round hole. We are who we are. You can try to be other stuff, but she's very clearly soft-spoken. She's nicer. She's kinder.
That was just a thought. But anyways.
Well, it was a wrong thought. So
okay, Uche. Moving on. So we're leaving Mexico. Never
Speaking of Uche,
never before happened. Only 2 couples remain.
wild.
It's interesting. Pretty
Embarrassing.
upsetting because one of the best parts of the show is the finale when they're at the altar, if they're going to get married or not. And we only have 2 of them as of right now that we know of, most likely.
Yeah.
So now it's happening. We didn't know if this was going to happen because, like we said in the beginning, Uche and Aaliyah leave their conversation on the phone with Uche saying he's done, doesn't want to speak to her again, never wants to see her. But alas, honeymoon's over. We shoot to Aaliyah in a restaurant. And who walks in? Uche. They're finally meeting face to face. The tension was palpable.
Yeah, it was one of those things where there was just this very clear underlying feeling of they love each other. They want to be together.
They both care.
They're physically attracted on top of being emotionally attracted.
Yeah, you could tell right away they were both pleased with what they were seeing. Right out the gate, Aaliyah's saying she still loves him. She's in love with him. She has regrets. She wishes she didn't leave. Obviously, he wishes she didn't leave either.
She puts her heart on the table.
Yes.
He puts his heart on the table. And it's clear we both love each other. We both attract each other.
But they're hurt. Yeah.
We should be together. But Uche says, nah. I know we should be. I know we could be. I know it'd be great. But, no. We gotta end things. It's too much. Sorry. Drawing a hard line, not stepping over it.
Yes. And he kind of alludes to the fact that, you know, his parents have had a really long, successful marriage, but he knows they've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. But despite everything they've gone through, neither of them ever gave up, ever walked away. You know, and of course, Aaliyah totally understands that, but their situation's unique because she has Lydia in her ear, and she said it was just really stressful. You know, Lydia's telling her all these things that she didn't ask about. And, you know, like you said, Uche stands very firm and just says, you know, it sucks essentially that you're letting a third party get into something that is supposed to be about you and I and the rest of our lives. And then he drops some interesting facts about his time with Lydia. He goes to say that a lot of people on his Instagram friends list had messaged him at that time saying that Lydia was like obsessively, essentially stalking their Instagrams. And it goes so far that apparently Lydia had driven to his place once, taken a picture of his driveway, and sent it to him saying, I can see you. Lydia, girl, can't be doing that shit anymore. At all, or ever.
Yeah. Anymore.
Ooh, yikes.
Kay's like, I did that when I was 16, but not when you're 25.
That shit ain't cute no more. But no, Red Flag City. Unfortunately, Lydia is a walking, burning red flag. It just couldn't be more apparent. The bitch has problems.
Man.
Obviously, she has problems because of maybe insecurities and things that she's gone through. But alas, concerning. Uche then goes on to say, you know, it was so concerning that he's worried about Milton's well-being now because Milton is obviously engaged to Lydia and they became friends, you know, in that thing. But again, they kind of end it not on good terms. He says, can't do it. Hard line. We could have been great. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Not going to be together. And that is how the editing and the show leaves it to us viewers. I go on social media, and Uche has done an Instagram Q&A. Someone had asked him about the breakup, and he literally said, like a night or two ago, editors edited to say that we broke up. We actually, in fact, held hands, shared our first kiss, and left saying we were going to try to date each other. Editors, what are you doing? We want to see that. We want to know that. We have 2 couples that kind of suck. We want love, damn it. That would have been awesome to see. I don't get what they're doing.
I do.
My only thing can be that they want to surprise us at the reunion that they've been dating. And it's like, well, now we already know. I don't know if Uche's in trouble for that because they're under contract for sure. So he probably wasn't supposed to say that, but it's out there and everyone screenshotted it. It's too late. But it's interesting. What are your thoughts? Why do you think they did that?
It's very clear. Why would they not do it? It's reality TV. This show's falling apart. No offense. They've got 2 couples left. The 2 couples are seamlessly in love. The one couple that wasn't broke up. They have literally no drama left. They're trying to squeeze as much juice out of an orange that was already juiced like 2 days ago as possible.
I completely disagree. I see that side of it. But when they all meet up,
Go ahead.
when they all meet up at the party at the end, the drama would have been fucking amazing if Uche walked in with Aaliyah hand in hand. Everyone would have been minds blown. Lydia would have died. Come on. That would have been so juicy. They missed an opportunity with that, I think.
No, they didn't miss an opportunity because
Yeah, they did.
what you're literally talking about makes no sense. Because if they did kiss and make up and all that stuff,
They did. He said they
then no matter what, they would show up to that thing regardless.
did. Not if
Clearly-
the editors,
no,
the
no,
producers wouldn't let her, clearly.
No, clearly Aaliyah didn't want to be near Lydia. Aaliyah thinks
don't
Lydia
agree.
is toxic. Well, I completely disagree with you. You're
Well, we're
wrong.
going to find out the truth. You don't know
Yeah.
for a fact.
Well, I know for a
Although he thinks
fact.
he knows everything, folks.
No offense. If
Weird.
Aaliyah left the show because she was so uncomfortable being around Lydia,
Yes.
she's obviously not going to show up to the fucking party where Lydia's at. So they had to try and get
I
the
disagree.
only drama they can out of that relationship. Well, that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. So am I. You talked enough about it. It's my turn. I'm just saying.
Ah,
very
someone loves
clearly-
being wrong.
They very clearly were trying to get anything they could because you rewind to the last season and there was all kinds of shit between all these couples and they're grasping at straws. That's all they're doing now. They're grasping at straws. I mean, why do you think as we fast forward to the party, which is the last piece of this, we're not going to get to yet, keep trying to tease everyone, but realistically, there's not that much. There's not couples trying to get back with each other. There's not any love triangles. There's not any of the stuff that we've seen historically before. So, yes, the producers were like, maybe this will work. Now, to your point,
Again, I disagree.
you're
But
maybe...
that's
Okay, that's fine. Well, I disagree with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Not to be
cool.
so angry about it. Damn.
Well, I'm not. I'm just right.
Again.
It's fine.
I just think I agree that that is a possibility. I think still, if they agreed to date, in my opinion, let me say my piece, por favor.
Have been.
Oh, you guys, killing me. If they left dating, this was obviously before that final party, chronologically in life. That definitely was filmed before, or that would be very interesting, and we'll find out if it wasn't. It's an interesting thought. If they left dating and he's going to this party with everyone and she knows all this Lydia's crazy shit, stalker shit, I, and most women I know, would sure as hell show up to that party and say, "Oh, you think you broke this? You can't break us, bitch, because this isn't about you. This is my man. Got him." And I would show up hand in hand. And the tea, the piping hot tea, it would have burned everyone at that party. That's just my humble opinion. Sound off in the comments. What you think?
Your humble opinion is based on who you are. You like calling
Same
people
for
out. You like being the midst of drama.
I love how you can have an opinion and it's like a fact. And when I have one, it's because I'm some dramatic woman.
Well, no,
Okay.
you said me
Okay, Uche.
and most women would love to. No, most women are afraid of
No.
confrontation, like most
No,
men
we
are afraid
love
of
it.
confrontation.
Nah.
Most human
If some
beings
bitch is trying to
don't
break up
like
me and my
confrontation.
man, I'm walking out there showing her I'm not
Yes,
afraid.
Listen how you talk in general. Clearly, you like that shit. You talk confrontationally just in our podcast, so obviously you're not afraid of it. But most people are afraid of confrontation. That's human nature. People
Boss
don't like
bitches
to
aren't.
run
That's
into.
all I'm saying. I think
Okay,
Aaliyah's a boss
well,
bitch inside. I
well-
think she's been broken down a lot and she's upset. Again, I said that's a possibility.
Yeah,
I'm not
fine.
shitting on your idea like you're shitting on mine so much, but let's move
Halfway.
on. All right. Couples are home, shared apartments. We're meeting fams, all that kind of stuff. First off, we go and see everyone else's place. Izzy's place. There are no nightstands, which bothers Stacy. Stacy, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to, girl. She goes, "Oh, so, as a bachelor, when you have, essentially alluding to when you have ladies here, where are they putting all their shit? Because ladies love a nightstand." And he goes, "Right this way, ma'am. To the drawer in my bathroom that is a
Loss of
one night stand lost and found." And he's got condoms, he's got hair ties, he's got a lip gloss. Izzy, my man, I love that you're just so honest and transparent and can't help being yourself. Not going to fault you for that. But you knew that you were going on this show. Throw that shit away. But again, she kind of pried, and he was honest and told her.
It's like a classic guy thing, though. Like,
At least he was kind of nice. He didn't want to throw somebody's stuff
I wouldn't
away.
be throwing away like random people's jewelry and shit. I'd be like, oh,
It wasn't jewelry. It was like a hair tie and a condom.
well, no, she did
Yeah.
mention. I think it was like a necklace or bracelet or
Throw
some
that
shit.
shit away, bro. I'm sorry.
No,
Like,
but this
that's
is
crazy.
guys. At least for me, right? You're lazy. You're just like, oh, whatever. I don't
For sure.
tie
It wasn't
any
that deep.
emotion.
It was
to
not
it.
that deep.
Yeah,
Yes.
he doesn't see it that way that she sees
It's
it.
like
but
he knew he was possibly going on a show to get engaged to then come home to show them this apartment. It just
Stacey, I think the tough thing
Stacey's
with that
cool.
whole
She's cooler than a lot of women.
well, she's
She
used
got
to
over it.
older, richer men,
Sure.
realistically, and so she was not impressed by his space. She wasn't totally let
Oof.
down, but
She
he's
was
just
not impressed by his plates and silverware
no. I mean,
or
hey,
lack thereof.
I will say, bro, you use the
Get a
red solo
fucking plate.
cups. It's
Get a
fine.
plate.
You got plastic plates, whatever. You don't need glasses. That's fine. Whatever have you. But red solo cup, man, that's not even fun to drink out of. You're sitting at home and you're choosing to use a red solo cup. Get a glass, my guy. Anything you drink is going to taste way better. I'm like, come on. Izzy, you're better than that.
Yeah. We go and see Stacy's house. Stacy, right off the bat, we're like, okay, Stacy. The girl has a 3-story house, 2 Mercedes, countless designer bags. I saw multiple Chanels. So, right off the bat, you're like, okay, Stacy. Stacy's an independent woman who's got some dough.
Maybe.
That we see in the beginning. Obviously, he's loving it. He's seeing her place. Right off the bat, it's clear that she obviously owns this place. It's under a bunch of construction. Obviously, if and when they get married, they're going to live there. You know, and he's already talking that way. They've obviously already discussed it. So he's loving it, looking around. They're chilling at the end, and she brings up the conversation, you know, about bills and finances, which is smart if you're going to marry a stranger. Probably figure out how they are with their money and stuff like that. And clearly, she does well for herself. We find out her father does better for himself and probably helps her out a lot. Not our business, no shade.
It sounds like he
But
probably
it's
put the
interesting.
down payment on the house. And
Yes.
she pays the mortgage, which is fair.
Yes, fine. Hey, you help your kid if you're rich as fuck.
Totally fair.
I'm not mad.
Totally get
Whatever.
it.
But
So-
it's interesting. She gets into sorry to cut you off, the age old. So when we go out to dinner, are you expecting to split? Are you going to be paying? The hard-hitting questions. He makes it seem like, oh, I thought we'd be like, you know, splitting it sometimes. What about if we both throw our card down? She does not like this. She makes it very clear. She's kind of old-fashioned. She expects the man to pick up the tab every time. Thoughts on that?
Grow up and
Yeah.
be a modern woman, Stacey.
Ooh, with this big-ass house and all this shit. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is people want it one way, not both ways. We want to be evolved. We want to be modern.
Yeah.
I want to be a woman that has, you know, the self-respect to be my own boss and all these great things, which you absolutely should. But then I still want these traditional things. So it's like, I want it to be modern when it benefits me, and then I want it to be traditional
Yeah.
when it
it's
benefits
tough.
me. It's kind of horseshit. Now, granted, guys do too, so I'm not gonna say it's just women, but in
For
this
sure.
case specifically, it's Stacey wants to be a modern, successful woman who still has men take care of her when she doesn't ultimately need it. And I get that it's attractive to a degree, but also I think you need to realize, like, who do I want to be? Like, is she gonna sit there and do all the dishes and do all the laundry and do all the cleaning,
Balance,
doing the
yeah.
historical woman roles? Probably not.
Mm.
She's probably going to want to do shared duties there, I imagine. Now, it's an assumption. I don't know. But I always just get frustrated, men or women, when you try to play into like I'm going to be modern when it's convenient, and I'm going to be traditional when it's convenient. It's like, dude, stand in one camp or the other. Like,
Yeah.
whatever makes you and your partner happy, I'm good with. But I'm a big fan of equity in our relationship as much as possible, in all relationships.
I agree to an extent. I think that, you know, we just want to feel good. We want to feel like a guy wants to take care of us and treat us. It's old fashioned, but that's just, it's like a romance kind of fairy tale thing, I think, in women's heads. In our relationship, you pay for a lot of our dinners, a lot of our meals, but I also offer to sometimes too. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm paying today. I want to, blah, blah, blah. Or if we go out, I'll buy drinks. Well, it's pretty give and take. Obviously, you handle it more than I do, but I'm not sitting there expecting you to pay every single time. And I think that's where the difference lies. It's like a respect thing, being on the same page. I do think it's a little tacky if you're a married couple alone out to dinner on a date and you both throw down a card. That's like, just figure it out later.
Venmo,
Like that's
dude.
a little weird, but teach their own. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of modern couples split everything. Fuck it. But to just assume that this man you barely know is now going to have to finance your life all the time, it's a little wild. But
It is.
we
And-
later see her family dynamic, and it makes more sense.
Yeah, and I don't want to be controversial, but I will say it does seem in today's world it's easier for a woman to want a traditional relationship for attractive purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But if a man says, when I get home from work, I want kitchen, I want dinner ready. I want to
Kitchen,
come home
now.
and hot dinner ready on the table. Like if a guy was to say that, 99% of the world would be like, you chauvinistic, you whatever.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We
you know,
get
just it is tough, but regardless.
equality. We get it. Okay.
Then again, men suck. We've ruled the world forever, so if it ever bends
Absolutely.
the opposite way, totally fair.
Who
too.
runs the world? Girls. As we should. Thank God.
They're smart.
But
They
anyway.
know a lot of stuff.
You know my favorite quote.
I'm not gonna say it.
Well, I am.
Also, probably
I sure
don't
am.
remember, so it does better.
Oh my God. Yes, you do. It's from my big fat Greek wedding. Men are the head, but women are the neck. And the neck can turn the head any way she wants it. Meaning we're running shit. I love that quote. Moving on. Milton's apartment. Don't have too much to say here. It's pretty
gem.
bare,
Great
pretty
guy.
clean. Big ass microscope on the counter. Now, the real gem of the apartment is Milton's roommate. Honorable mention to this man. Don't need to get into it too long. Don't remember
What a
his
good
name.
friend.
But wow, this man was polite, gentlemanlike. You can just tell he loves, respects, admires his friend. He was like, you guys are so cute together. Oh, Milton's definitely ready for marriage. He's this, that. Ride or die friend. That is how you act when you're friends on this show. Friends from last season, take fucking notes. That grumpy ass bitch that was friends with the blonde girl. Ugh,
Great hype, man.
trash.
Yeah. Milton, dude's got it going on. I gotta say, the dude's got his shit together. In every way. I'm proud of you, Milton.
And people always say, if you want to really know someone, look at who they surround themselves with. That guy was awesome and clearly is one of his good friends if they live together. Another tick in the yes Milton box. Just a respectable, good guy. And again, his apartment was nice. It was super clean. Not really too much to say about that.
No, let's move on. It's all good stuff.
Yes. We're meeting the fams. Milton and Lydia sit down with Lydia's mother and her brother, I believe. Nothing too much there. It's a sweet conversation. Milton was a little nervous. There's a little language barrier. But overall, brother seems really fun.
Yeah.
Like a cool guy. Love to have a drink with him.
Good
Mom, super sweet. Yeah, it was kind of all good there. You know, they kind of reiterate that Lydia is an adventurer. She's fiery. She's passionate. She's looking for someone to love her for her. And again, I think Milton checked all the boxes, gave a really good first impression, not trying, but just by being himself.
Yeah.
And the
no-
mom right away was like, welcome to my family. You're a real one. I would be honored to have my daughter, who's a little unhinged, be taken care of by this amazing young man.
They were really scraping the barrel for anything juicy because
Yeah.
both interactions, right? Milton meeting Lydia's family, great.
Yeah.
And then Izzy meeting Stacy's family,
Yeah, let's get into that.
also pretty great. Right now, Stacy and her dad.
Her
All-
family,
all
just
daughters.
in general, gives off money over everything.
Yeah,
vibe.
I mean, well,
They don't seem like bad people.
I don't wanna make
but that's
assumptions.
at the forefront.
the dad seemed pretty good, right? At the end, he was like, "Hey, she likes nice things. You're gonna want to take care of that." But he's also like, "You know what? If you love her, all that kind of stuff."
Yeah. I think they recognized Izzy's a good guy. And
Yeah,
bottom line, yes, I'm sure most fathers want somebody who they know is going to provide and make a safe space for their daughter, but they want their daughter to be loved and be happy and in a healthy relationship. So if you
Yeah.
see a nice guy like Izzy that's honest, he's earnest, clearly he's like motivated and going to be a hard worker, it's really all you can ask for. But he does say something like, you know, if something breaks down in the house and you can't help or pay for it, that shit falls on me, bro. So you better step it up. Essentially
it was-
being like, I'm so sick of pick up the pieces for this girl who's bougie as fuck. Please take some shit off my plate.
Probably all his daughters, realistically.
Honorable mention to the dad's shirt.
Damn it! I was gonna. I was gonna
I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say.
Okay, take it away. Take it away.
The juiciest, weirdest part of any
Most
of the family
concerning
meetings.
part.
His Stacy's dad shirt. He's wearing
What
some
brand
like
that is?
probably really expensive.
Oh, it's
brand,
so expensive.
which-
Designer.
Weirdly enough,
Well, say what it was first. Yeah.
So it's a polo, and it's like a
Hot
like-
pink.
it's like a bunny crossbone skull. So it's like
The
school of a
ears with the
crossbone with like bunny ears on top.
And the
of
thing's
it.
like neon pink.
Never seen it in my life. Right?
Hideous.
We've never seen this shirt. Horrible looking. And then we're out this past weekend. Out
Yeah.
doing a mini golf bar crawl, which was dope. Eastside Open.
Yep.
Shout
Shout out.
We saw one. Some dude was wearing one.
Same
Never seen
kind
this
of
in my
man.
life.
An older white-haired man at some sports bar walks
Yeah.
by in this hot pink polo with this skull and crossbones bunny. And I feel like I know most brands. I'm pretty in the know. I've never seen that logo in my life until Love is Blind, and now we just saw it again.
It's
it was
clearly
so
like
weird.
this niche brand that markets to like
Niche?
older
Niche?
There's different ways you said. I say niche.
T in it, but okay. Niche is spelled Niche.
I know how it's spelled. Well, anywho.
He
So,
knows how to spell.
but I want to say this company clearly markets to old rich
rich
dudes
white men.
who want to feel young and cool.
100%.
And they see this
It's
and they're
getting like Ed Hardy.
"Oh yeah, this is hip. Yeah,
Like
I'm in it."
expensive Ed Hardy.
And all of us are just laughing at him.
It's
But
so tacky.
anywho, so Meet the Fams went well. Not a lot of drama there, but we do finish with some juicy juice.
Mm.
Party time with
Come on, everybody. They're at some like random. Honestly, it's like probably
Some-
the apartments, like courtyardy.
Yeah, I was
pool,
gonna say it looks like one of
shared
those, like,
room
rooftop
area.
things.
It's fun though.
But the couples that are together, the forgettables, the
A
unforgettables.
big thing from this is we see Johnny and Chris together.
They're dating.
Yes, Johnny says that they met leaving the experiment at the airport. They instantly like saw each other and knew each other was each other because obviously they don't know what they looked like. So that was kind of cool. Instantly hit it off. Chris is a precious gem of a man. Forgave her. They are in love and they're dating. And honestly, good for them. You know, Johnny had some toxic traits. We had a lot to say about her. We probably
lot.
more me in the last episode, but she's also been through a lot and she deserves a good guy like Chris, I think. And Chris seems really happy too.
Shout out Chris.
We love
what
love.
What a
Yeah.
guy.
Understanding king.
He's like who we thought JP should be. Like
Ooh,
soft spoken,
yeah, absolutely.
really kind, really nice, really understanding. Chris, very emotionally mature, very emotionally ready. Quality guy. Shout out Chris.
Forgiving, understanding, gem.
Yeah, I mean, you deal with Johnny, so gem.
Yeah, she's
But,
not she's not perfect, but
And then we
it's
see
nice to see that they're happy.
Yeah, and Uche sees Johnny for the first time. Oh no, Izzy, I mean, sees Johnny for the first time.
Oh yes, and he
And-
pulls her for a chat.
Yeah, he
And
calls her
was
out.
it a chat or was it an interrogation and a beatdown? I'm just gonna say, you know, I like Izzy a lot. Again, best guy of the season in my opinion, for the most part. You're happy with your girl. You see that Johnny and Chris are happy. Leave it the fuck alone. Like, be the bigger person and leave it alone. But he can't. And they decide to chat. And, you know, he can't mind his own business. Talks with Johnny, essentially calling her fake, saying she's a psychopath, saying, you know, bringing up in the pods how she told Chris and him opposite things and that Chris needs to be like protected at all costs from you. You're a psycho, just damaging mean things. And it's, again, Izzy, if you're so happy with Stacy, why are you getting, you know, just don't care about it. Let them do their thing.
I know
Chris
he's
is going to
good.
realize what he needs to realize being with this girl if he if things don't work out.
He's trying to emotionally protect himself by coming up with even harsher reasons for why they shouldn't be together, because clearly he really struggled with that. And so I think he was trying to use this as an opportunity
to justify, you're crazy.
Yeah, he was convincing himself. What he was really doing was he was saying all that to himself to convince him he made the right choice. And so he went over the top attacking her, because really he was just talking to himself about like, hey, you made the right choice being with Stacey. Screw this girl. She was terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever. And you're right. If he was just super happy with Stacey and he wasn't contemplating the decision he made,
the noise wouldn't bother him.
Yeah. So that's the behind the scenes why he was doing that is like the.
Yeah. You're right. Because he even says the words that she's mind fucked Chris into being with him, kind of thing. And it's like, is Chris mind fucked, or are you right now, bro? He's clearly the one that's more bothered.
Oh, for sure.
And again, he's creating narratives in his head to make it easier to kind of let go what that could have been or what they thought they could have had.
Just a psychological tactic for himself.
That's a good one.
Johnny being Johnny, I mean, she's a wordsmith and she navigates situations
she's
really
a lawyer.
well. She kind of talked her way out of the bag. And
she walks away upset, though, crying.
Yeah, no, she did. She cries a lot in this episode, understandably. I mean,
she just wants to be happy, too.
Well, a lot of emotions, right? She's seen these other people she loved. She's getting yelled at by people. People are coming for her. So, yeah.
And I'm sure that she is scared that Chris is going to see all this and think, like, oh, this girl's always involved in drama.
Am I going to lose Chris? Yeah.
Exactly. And she's like, I finally have a guy who maybe is the one and is this sweet, understanding personality type that I've never been with, and it feels good. I don't want to scare him away. And so after that conversation, she leaves, visibly shaken and upset, goes to Chris. Chris is a precious gem, a king, and he said, let's not give a fuck about people's opinions who don't know us. We know us. We know what this is. No one's opinion that's not in this matters. And she's like, you're right. You're right. You sweet, sweet angel boy. This is why I love you.
That man's got together. He knows what he's doing.
And he's cute. Like, honestly, he was really slept on. Not that they could see him, but he was cute.
Probably too short for you. But
I'm not.
When I say
things about people's looks, I'm not thinking about me with them. Like, fuck, this man makes me look horrible. I just said he was cute. You called him short.
I just got to bring her down sometimes, every once in a while.
Willow has something against short kings. Short king hater. Short king hater.
Hey, some of my best friends in Austin, short kings.
He surrounds himself with short kings because he can't handle the competition. Okay. Now, in enters Uche. He was not there in the beginning. And who does he ask to speak to but Lydia? And Lydia is hanging out. I think she's eating something and goes, I really don't want to, but if I have to, I guess so. And gets up, follows him. Literally is like, I'm going to need a drink for this. Girl, are you right? Because he is about to blow up your spot. Now, don't want to be hypocritical here. Because the same thing I just said about Izzy technically could be said here. Uche, if you don't want anything to do with Lydia and them, why leave it alone? Why not let them just be happy? But Uche created a friendship with Milton, and I think he's got kind of this protector shield on, like it's my duty to lay out the facts here to protect this man.
He's got a little bit of Libra in him, as you'd say, a little bit of that justice warrior.
Yeah,
he's like,
fighting for what's right, the principle.
I've got a purpose. Yeah. I don't care if people get annoyed. I don't care if people get upset. By God, I am going to call this woman out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure this happens, regardless of how much fun everyone's having. So.
And he starts it off in a bizarre way. He literally starts it off being like, Lydia, you have a lot of qualities I really liked.
Yeah, he's got a really weird,
just be honest,
sandwich type thing that he does.
Yes.
Like, it's really odd.
That's a thing in the aesthetics world. Compliment sandwich.
It's in a lot of things, yeah.
Well, okay. You're okay, Uche. Again, carry on.
I'm just saying the aesthetics world didn't create the compliment sandwich.
Well, it's something that we talk about a lot in the beauty industry. But carry on. You know everything, Uche.
Wow. I'm gonna get her later for this. Anywho, so
a gaslighter. You're gonna get me later for this? I say something and you can't just let me have anything. You're such a dick. My God. Well, I'm gonna keep talking now. So starts off with a compliment sandwich, which is a global term that no one owns and every industry uses. Lord, I need a glass of wine after this. My God. I'm glad everyone sees this because they're seeing what I'm dealing with right now. Anywho.
Igualmente. Anywho, so he's a lot. He's a lot to deal with. He tries calling her out. He stays.
He doesn't try calling her out. Calls her out. Says, you stalked my life on the boardwalk. You stalked my life all over. Real on snow. That's so good. Lydia's having none of it. Essentially, says he's lying and drops another bomb and says, one thing you're forgetting to mention, you slept with somebody else while we were together. Uche, if we can recall in the beginning, was very hard on Aaliyah when she said she had cheated in the past. Uche,
Justice warrior.
you're a hypocrite, bro. And he said, oh, you're a recent cheater. You probably cheated more recent than her. So that's a bomb. Lydia, thank you for telling us that. You're still crazy. She gets up. She is distraught. She's upset. She's yelling for Milton, probably trying to get to him first because now she's worried about what's going to happen with that. And then we see Uche pulling Milton for a conversation before the end of the episode. Leave it on a cliffhanger with that. Obviously, he's going to expose a lot of Lydia's stuff. Very quickly, our predictions for the final two couples, the only couples that we are aware of that are going to actually go through and have the wedding day, be up at the altar. Izzy and Stacy, do you think they're both saying yes?
Yeah, they're going to say yes.
I think so too. And then, excuse me.
Milton and Lydia?
Milton and Lydia.
I think yes.
I think it's going to be a Lydia yes, Milton no. That seems like the obvious answer right now.
I think Milton's going to say yes. He seems stubborn enough and confident enough in himself that if someone tells him not to be with her, he's going to be like, cool, I trust myself, I'm going to do it. So,
all right.
Predictions, we'll see what happens.
So yeah, a little different. Super excited to check that out. Everyone, watch with us, please. And we'll be back with our final thoughts with the finale. Maybe the reunion. Not really sure what's happening. Cannot wait.
We'll see. Until next time. Appreciate y'all. Take care, everybody.
Follow us, like, subscribe. Yeah.
Get it.
Spotify, YouTube, all the things. We love you. Till next time.
Take care, everybody.